people here today. Thank you for taking some time out of your schedules to kind of look at a bit of a deep dive in some tools that I'm going to reference here today. Mainly, what we're looking at here today is this: your phone. Okay, I'm talking about the KV Core app. Okay. Now, just some things to kind of get out of the way here today. If you have no idea how to get the KV Core app downloaded, everyone here should have access to it via this option right on your KV Core dashboard. Okay. And I want to highlight this in specific today because I want to talk about managing some of these tools wherever you are. Right. Some simple things, some basic features, but also some ideas, some complex ideas to maybe apply to this. Okay, so if you haven't downloaded the app yet, you can find it, okay, again, right there in your dashboard. And if you click on that download mobile app portion, you can just text yourself these links, okay, either via, on Google Play or be it on the App Store there. Right? So highlighting what I want to discuss with you here today as far as the apps go, really, a main focus point is right what you see on your dashboard here in KV Core. And highlighting some features, some aspects, calls, tasks, and lead activity. This is something I highly, highly value. Now, it's not the only piece that we're going to discuss here, but I'm going to bring this up as our first point. Everyone here should be managing their business, their day-to-day. And while you don't necessarily have to use KV Core from the desktop standpoint, in fact, sometimes I kind of argue against it, you should be managing what your day-to-day is through your calls, your tasks, and your lead activity. Those three key points there, okay? To kind of highlight this for you, I'm going to open up the app and we're going to view this on my phone, if I can. There we go. All right. So every day you have a inbox of activity here, and maybe I'll just use the mouse actually for this. But the idea is that you have leads, you have text messages, you have contacts engaging with you here. This is your inbox. Take a look at it. Every day, whatever activity is happening, that is coming from your contacts. They ask you a question, they want to see a listing, they email you back about a property, or they text you. Whatever happens, it's going to display in this inbox from their point of view, what they send you. That's the inbox. This right here, though, the activity feed, is something that I find a lot of agents use to prospect their database, right? That's this, what you see with Chris and Test and Mr. Domain here. Those are the contacts that are engaging with you. So highlighting this from a day-to-day standpoint is always good. But I point this out to you because you want to make sure that your business is active. So, just to say this in a blunt manner here, if you're not seeing activity on this area, whether it be, today, yesterday, maybe over the past week, you are not using your tools correctly. Right. Again, I'm putting it in a blunt form. Does that mean you're failing as an agent? No. What I'm trying to say here is that something that you can maybe focus on is getting leads to your website. If you have no activity to base off of, your leads and what they're doing and kind of following up with them, then maybe a first point of interest for you is to get leads to your website, to view those properties, to see their activity. That's what I'm trying to say here. Get people there. Just get people to your site. Okay. Now, beyond this, you'll also have these notifications. Okay. The notifications are something from what the leads do, such as engage with you. They asked a question, but also this, a behavior, reactions. Like I said before, you want leads at your site. You want leads there. Okay. And I'll have a discussion about that towards the end in getting your leads there. But up until this point, if you have somebody do something, maybe they revisit your site, maybe they favorite a property, these notifications, okay, are going to be push notifications. You're going to see them on your phone, your mobile device there, right? When you got those meetups, when you have, pieces of leads doing things, reaching out, setting stuff up on your website, responding to an email. But the notifications here are just an overall feed of this. Behaviors, lead activity, All right. And these are things that I would say over the activity, over the inbox, the notifications. I want you to look at this at least once a day because it's notifications either from KV Core telling you, Christian, you should do this, Christian, you should do that. But also when a new lead comes in or a lead favoriting a property or requesting a showing. That's the notifications. The system is literally telling you what you should do next through this app. So if anyone here is a green agent, you're probably looking at this and saying, okay, so this is my job here, right? Yes, it is. Now, following up with this here, to manage some of these pieces, you're going to have a dialer. You're going to have tasks, okay? And so the system itself, KV Core, is going to notify you of these. Hey, Christian, you should call this contact. Hey, Christian, you should manage this lead. And you'll see stuff like today's calls, right? So I should reach out to Mrs. Jane Smith, or overdue calls. These are leads that are in my system that I've had calls scheduled for, but I haven't reached out. But those are obvious, right? Those are calls that you may have scheduled for yourself or the system is scheduled for you. What about these other pieces? The new leads. Well, I have 14 leads over the past 90 days that have become new. And so maybe I reach out to Mr. Cactus Cooler here or Gimlet because the system is telling me, Christian, these are new people. These are active people. These are people that are in your system right now, and they're new. Or maybe I just work off the leads that have been active, or better yet, to kind of fix our problems from before, why don't you call the leads that are being inactive? The ones that don't go to your site, the ones that don't respond to emails, the ones that don't respond to text messages. These are contacts that maybe I should dial. So from before, remember that inbox there and showing the lead activity and what they're doing, maybe notifying you about their activity. This dialer here, okay, is an area for you to use on a day-to-day basis with your CRM. What I'm telling you here is that KV Core is looking at your contacts for you. It's acting as like a digital assistant for you. And it's saying, Christian, you've got inactive leads right now. You should be following up with them. Now, for those of you that maybe don't know how to use this yet, if you haven't set this up, if you haven't managed any calls, oof, I'm running low on battery. I go in to these calls and I could either click on the contact name or tap on it, right? I'm using my app, or I could hit this dial now option and it'll dial from the top down. So when I hit this dial now option, it's bringing up this contact, okay? And it's counting down for me. You see this? Calling in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I paused it because now I can look at the contact timeline, what's actually been sent out to them. I sent them a text message yesterday, right? I've followed up with other methods as well. And when I do make the call, I can talk about some of these points, right? Have a conversation. Hey, Mr. Chris, have you looked at what I've sent you? Blah, blah, blah. Have you looked at any listings that I've sent you, right? We have a conversation. If we talk, we should log it as such. As an agent, I go back and I log this call. I contacted them, right? I can add a note, put in some details here, talked about these properties, right? Oh, I spelled something there. And then following up with this, okay, I could schedule a call for later or tomorrow if I just want to keep it simple. All right. I can also just send a follow-up text message or an email. See, these are good pieces to have, right? You have that conversation. They want to receive an email from you. Great. You can keep it going right after. Now, you do have other options if they weren't available, right? Just label them as not available, not home. I do say here that there is an option for bad number. This is in particular, I would say you don't want to do this unless the phone number you dialed was completely invalid. It wasn't real. But after you finished all the pieces here, you just finish and move on. Oh, feel a sneeze coming on, guys. So apologies if I sneeze in your ears there. But as this loads, I can go on to the next contact. And we keep having the conversations. Now it's Mr. Jones. Do I talk about 4717 Aliso Way or any of the other properties that I've sent him? Because I can also view this email, right? It's downloading what I've sent. See, these pieces here, they're in your hand, right? Everything that you're seeing, guys, it's right on my phone right now. So use this. Maybe look at some future touch points and what you're going to do and follow up. Check out their profile details. All right. Does Mr. Jones have a wife? No, don't have a birthday for him yet. But I can see here that he's got some search alerts, he's got a campaign, and he's got market reports. So I know I'm automatically communicating with him. I know I'm sending these out. So maybe when I call him now, right, I ask him, hey, did you receive those market reports I've sent you? What about those search alerts? Have any of those interested you? Right? So I have these talking points. I have these featured areas and this conversation starter. I know this may seem very obvious to some agents, right? But if you don't have information to go off of, it's kind of difficult, right? To have a conversation with this contact. I contacted them. I'll just call them tomorrow. I'll have that scheduled and I'll finish it and keep this going, right? I have these conversations going again and again and again. So with each of these calls, each of these conversations, I'm logging this. And it's in the lead timeline here, folks. It's back in the dashboard. Remember, this system is connected. The app, the desktop, whatever it is, it's your account. That's what's mattering here. That's the focus. It's your account, your leads, your information, your logs. Now, I will say, this is one major this is one major part to your day-to-day. And what I've just shown you here, I feel is something that everyone here should be doing. Everyone that has a KV Core account should at least once a day come into the system, look at their inbox, check out their notifications, and then go over to their dialer, at least to manage what's due today or any past due calls, right? Because these could be calls that you scheduled for yourself and follow up. Now, something I do want to show from this dialer though, okay, and honing in on specific contacts is this: custom lists. Do you see this here? I've got general buyers with no search alerts. I've got Facebook leads or Facebook buyers. I've got leads with no alerts, leads with no market reports. I've got unengaged contacts. I've got these filters here. And what I'm telling you to do is to set up some. Use your CRM to its benefit. You don't have to look for the leads yourself. You can use the leads that are there and have the system sort them out for you. You can have filters based off of lead statuses, who they're assigned to, their details. But what I recommend that you set this up with are lead behaviors. Find the leads that you're not engaging with. And in fact, I usually highly recommend contacts that are in your system that don't have smart campaigns attached to them. Those are pieces there in which you have contacts that are not being automatically nurtured, that are not having either general or specific questions asked of them. Maybe you can reach out to contacts that have responded. Honestly, that's not a bad way. Or maybe they've at least asked a question. So you're not just reaching out to the folks that don't want anything to do with you, right? Or maybe you reach out to contacts in which you've called them in the past year. This is a good marker, right? I'm looking at contacts that are in my system that or I should say, don't have a smart campaign, that don't have any kind of automated follow-up from me reaching out to them. But I'm also setting it up so that I know that I've at least spoken with them. I've at least made the attempt to call them. And so I could save this filter, or I can build all of this out. Oh, I need to name it first. I'll just call this leads with no, that I've talked to. Leads that I called with no campaign. That's it. Save that, put this in as a filter. And now, since I've created this new list, right, leads that I called with no campaign, I bring up this contact list and look here. Because of that criteria that I've looked for now, I have a list of contacts. I have a potential list of, I would say, the term prospecting, right? Trying to find out if these people are genuinely interested. And so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to call Alan. I'm going to call Mr. Real Estate. I'm going to call Deb and Ash and Jane and whoever else this list is. Looks like I have a few there that I've talked to. I've had a conversation with, but they don't have a campaign on them. And you know what my goal of this is? To see what kind of campaign, what kind of nurturing I should be doing with these leads. And so having this conversation, again, I just dial through it. I go through this list. I keep notating. See, now I have ways to kind of figure out for myself. I'll create another one. Let's call this filter the set list of contacts that need to be contacted. Go under lead statuses. I'm going to make this very detailed. So I could look for leads that are under the new lead status, the sphere lead status, the prospect, no, not the close, excuse me, the prospect and the active lead status. I'll use those 4. And I'll look up leads under specific details. Okay. Let's look up contacts that do have a phone. I'm going to be that specific with it. And guys, if you're catching on, maybe you've seen all these options before. All I'm doing is setting up a filter in my CRM. All right. So, Michael, you asked that question just a few minutes ago, right? Did you create those filters or are there some up to start? I did create some, but I can set it up now. Like I've already had some of these built. I could set these up, but as I'm showing you right now, let me pull up my app again. I'm setting this up again. It's the same kind of spiel. It's the same kind of tool, right? It's just on my phone now. So I'm looking up those leads that have a phone number. I don't need a specific time frame in which they were created, but let's look over their behavior. And last time I called, no, let's see here. Let's just look at those leads that have maybe saved a property. That's a good jumping off point, right? And so when I save this here, I've got this list. Now, folks, one of the best things you can do with these lists as well. So if you go over to the contact area, the CRM, is I use one of those filters. All right. All right. Let me actually set it up. Save filters here. Let's go over. Leads that I called with no campaign. That's that previous one. Here's the one that I just created. The filter for unengaged leads. Let's try that. Well, looks like I only got one contact. One of the things here, though, is that when you set these filters, let's see if I've got a list here. There we go. Select. So in that upper right corner, looks like my filter name is too long, but if you choose select here, in that upper right corner, you can start selecting these folks. And look at this. I'll send out an email, right? Put in a canned response. Boom, boom, boom. Just sent it out to 7 different people. Do it again. But this time, I can select all these leads. I'll send a text. Hi, lead. Just reaching out. how your day is going. Also, have you checked out my site yet? Oops. There we go. All right. And then, of course, you can always use those templates that are already in the system. Okay. You see here. Just wondering if the merge tag tool will pull up here. Agent underscore site. And so I'll send this. Oh, lead name. Oh, really? Interesting. There we go. Make sure we can do this here. Sorry, guys. The mouse doesn't always like to click on the things. You just send it out. There we go. So coming back to this, though, one of the other things I mentioned is that these filters, obviously, they're helping you sort them. But remember this, too. You can create these wherever you are. And of course, the messaging, the texts, the autofill information, use those templates. Create content so that you can quickly just send out an email, so that you can quickly just send out a text, so that you have the engagement. You have what you need to do with your contacts simply by setting up engagement. From the CRM on your phone, you can select whichever contacts you want to use. There we go. And send out the message. And so when you look at their profiles now, you can open them up. Oh, text not sent. It's a failed number. It's still engaging with the leads that it does have, though. And there it is. I keep on reviewing this. I keep on sending out. I keep on engaging them. And the good thing is as well, one of the parts I like showing off about this is that even if the lead doesn't have a phone number, right? They have an email. Sometimes the system will just send out that email or the text message, I should say, via email. So when you have these contacts that only have given you their email or have only given you their phone number, we can send messaging back and forth that way. And of course, those filters that I used for earlier, such as those leads, right? Where is it? Leads with, let me just refresh this here. Maybe it's because I didn't save it earlier. Lots of filters, as you can see. I've used this many, many times. My leads with no auto communication there. And I can bring this up again. See, this filter is both in my desktop version and my app. Now, going through these with the filters themselves, maybe you would like to build out some communication for it. Maybe you want to build out some text messages and some emails and templates that you already have. Well, remember, we do have templates that are already in the system here. And while, yeah, you can do it via the app here if you want to, meaning you can start building some more templates out if you want. what I recommend everyone here do is spend a couple of hours going over into this marketing tab. And so you can prepare for some future events, some future communications, right? And in the Smart Campaigns area, when you click on Manage Campaigns, you'll see this, templates. And so my recommendation for you is to go in and create some. We've already got some there for you to use, which are great. But I say maybe create 5 different text messages and maybe 5 different emails to try and get a response. So today what you're doing here is you're attacking on all fronts. You're managing calls, right? You're reaching out to that list of leads that should be called. You're sending out texts so that leads can respond. And while, yes, some of this is on the manual side of things, a lot of this is just sorted for you. It's navigated through you. Or navigated for you, I should say, so that you don't have to sift through your database, your hundreds, your thousands of contacts that you have to look at. The system will do that. Remember, the CRM can filter out for those contacts. What you should focus on is how you should reach out to them in terms of what you should say. What kind of conversation should you have? What kind of text message should you send? So when I click on add a template here, you're going to see that when I click on text template, I'll be able to choose a scope, and then I'll choose the name. The scope is for you admins in here that are listening. If you're a team admin, an office, or a company admin, you can build this out for your agents. If it's just me, like a regular agent user, you're doing this for yourself. And I'll call this template name. Call this the first unengaged smart text. There we go. And so I'll put in hi, use the merge tag tool. It's that little bracket key next to your P key on the keyboard. Hi, lead first name. Wanted to reach out and see what interest you have in real estate at this point. If nothing, let me know, and I'll stop sending you real estate updates. All right. But if you're interested, check out my site here. And then I'll put in another merge tag of my agent site. Probably just scroll down to it. Agent email, agent website. There we go. Thanks. And then put in one last piece of agent name. Okay, now this is set. We add it. Okay, it's one set of information there. Build out another one. Set up another text. Maybe in regards to a simple follow-up piece, or maybe you put in, if they're not interested in real estate, NI, or maybe no NC for stop contact or no contact after this. No contact text for no follow-up. Thanks for letting me know. I'll make sure you no longer receive any updates. Regards to real estate. Right. Set it up. And then maybe let's create a template if they go down the other path. They are interested. Some interest are interest in real estate. Right. And then setting this up. Just for letting me know. If you want, you can set yourself up on alerts through my site, or you can just tell me what you're interested in. If you want, if you're ready, Tell me areas or markets already looking at. Right. Now, if you guys take the time to make these, right, these simple communication pieces, now we have our own, but if you make yours, put in your own flavor, create your own templates, just make a few, just 5 or 6 text message templates, 5 or 6 email templates. And then of course you can always look at what we already have there and maybe build off of it. If you want to maybe change something around from like one of our call templates there, the ones that we already have set for you, you can. Same with our tasks. But also you can clone one of the existing ones. There is something that is actually a text message and a email that is available for everyone here. It's called the imported lead default text. And then for the email, it's called the same except for the imported lead default email. This is a template that's in the platform that is a great jumping off point for a lot of contacts, especially for their initial engagement. And if you look at it, it says, hi, first name, just wanted to send you an email about cleaning up my database, or in this case, it should be a text, cleaning up my database, past and current clients. Let's just change that around. You can follow up with this text. Can you tell me if you are searching for a purchase or a sell, resuming your search, or have already bought / sold? And then you can make your own template and send this out. And you've got this built out in that way. But remember here, folks, the idea is that you're doing this so that when you send out the messaging or when you're away from your desktop, you have these opportunities to do this. You go back into a contact, send out a text message from here, right? Oh, looks like Mr. Jones is unsubscribed from me. Let's go ahead and try this. Send out that text, choose that message. What was it called? The imported. There it is. We can use that. Send it out. Boom. There we have it. And so when this conversation gets started, it goes right back to your phone. And so when you're in between appointments, when you're showing up for a listing, when you're looking to, kill some time, that's the ideal marker for your app. The in-between, the dead air. When you have nothing to do, look at your phone. And of course, you can always use it for other reasons, right? You can see what your day is going to be like. Go back to your dialer there. You just bring this back. What do you have due today? What do you have due tomorrow? You can also reach out to leads because of a hashtag that they have on them. Have you guys been capturing leads using landing pages or squeeze pages yet? You can bring those leads in, have a conversation with them because maybe they have a hashtag associated. Those tags can be labels for you, right? Maybe you've got leads that are really qualified. Maybe you've got leads that aren't so qualified. Maybe you've got leads that are scary. Maybe Mr. Allen there is not a friendly person. Maybe you should tiptoe around them. Be careful with how you communicate. I mean, there are so many different ways to set this up. But the idea is your app is something to use again and again and again. Now, that's kind of what I had for you here today. However, this is set up to be kind of an open Q&A session as well. So if you want to ask any questions, now is the time. But make sure to manage your business on the go. That was the idea here. Following up with that, I want to thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you got some ideas and some knowledge from this. But let me know. I'll pause the recording if anyone wants to chat in or not. But also, use your app. If you have not downloaded it yet, today is the day. Thank you again. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, just sit here looking at the app.